welding booth, and we tacked together a little stamped eagle that they made up for them. And we helped the kids tack weld this little eagle up and put the kids in the welding gear and run them through the booth and everything else. And it's actually a really fun event we do. We were actually talking about next year doing a toy drive for everything. So that was one of the things that's on the table right now as one of our community outreach programs. One of the other things that was brought to our attention that we found out the journeymen used to do was called a bring on the heat, which they used to go and check, basically go do check on furnaces to make sure there was like no gas leaks or carbon monoxide getting into the house. Just do a quick, simple check for elderly and not basically low income families that couldn't afford to have a primary service company come in and do that kind of little things. Couldn't afford to do that stuff. And it was something they stopped doing. And as the Apprenticeship Council, we found out they did that, and we're trying to bring that back around and key that more to the service guys being able to do it because they have more of the equipment and that stuff to go do that kind of thing. But and maybe get the journeyman involved with it again.
Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic way to serve your community.
Yeah, it truly is. I mean, this is the one field. I was a 911 operator for 10 years, and just coming here, I'm a second year going into my third year, and I already feel satisfied when I feel like I did something at the end of the day. And there is that satisfaction, that fulfillment of building something and putting something in and putting your name on it, and just taking pride in that, taking pride in your work. One of my favorite quotes is by Hickson Gracie, a jiu-jitsu practitioner, where he says, it's not enough to be good. You got to look good while you do it. And that's what I kind of bring into my training, and a little mantra I say to myself throughout the day, make it look, it's hard, little things like that, and making it look beautiful, taking pride in it, and knowing it won't leak. That's awesome to me.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to take pride in everything we do. I mean, we do artwork, and people don't understand that we do artwork. It's 9 times out of 10 our piping is covered with insulation. You never see it, or it's covered by ceiling grid. But when you get the advantage to do working in a chip plant or pharmaceutical plant, you get to do all the fancy stainless tube bending up the wall, and it's going to be exposed forever. You can sit there and stand back and say, hey, look at this great piece of artwork that I did that nobody else in the world is understanding what it took to do that, but it looks beautiful.
Yeah, that's definitely something that members of 469 can relate to. We have a very large chip plant out here that's run by Intel. A lot of our guys work out there, so it's something that's incredible to be a part of, and that's something I think that really separates working in a union aspect of the trade as opposed to the non-SIG aspect, as far as the artistry and the amount of time that goes in as far as being an apprentice and working with journeymen and learning all of those little things that take it from a job to an art form.
The craftsmanship, I think, is a beautiful word to phrase that, Taylor. And I don't know, you guys are kind of inspiring me right now. I mean, I think we have somewhere close to 3,000 members. Is that right, Taylor? About 3,000 at this point?
Last I remember hearing, it was like 3,500 total, and about 400 of those are apprentices.
Right on. And that one thing I love is when I run into a journeyman who challenges me. When my first day on the job, I get put with the journeyman, Chris Denman, an amazing guy. And the first thing he says, we're union, we do it right the first time, and our shit looks good. I was debating on doing the actual quote, but that's what he said. He says it looks good, we do it right the first time. And right away I was hooked. I like this guy. I like people who hold that standard high, because I need to be challenged, like in Office Space, that guy he gets hypnotized, he don't care anymore, and he's brutally honest, and the bosses say, well, what's the problem? And he says, I'm not really challenged. I'm definitely challenged in this field, and I love to step up to that challenge when journeymen expect those high standards, the standard of excellence, and there's a lot of unwritten stuff that you have to hold yourself to, and I like stepping up to that, and I like when journeymen embody that, not only with their words, because there are a lot of journeymen out there who walk the walk without saying much, and you can just see it, you can feel it, and when you're around them, you want to do that much better. And that's the kind of stuff that pushes the standard and sets the example for apprentices. I'm going to leave it on that note because I can go on forever about that. I love this. I love what I'm getting into, and I love the environment we're around, because here we are talking to a guy in Denver, and he's just hitting on every note that we discuss on a daily basis. This is something that is not just unique here. This is the UA.
Yeah, we definitely all belong to the UA, and it's the same across the US and even Canada and everything there too. So it's a great thing with the being part of the UA and everything else. And speaking of the UA, I was actually honored about a month ago. They actually brought me to San Diego for their training event. I actually got to get up and speak on the student council stuff. They asked me to be a presenter for it. So I don't know if your business manager was in it, and I actually
our training director was, and he is the one who he had mentioned in passing that guys from Denver were talking about it. And this was about a month ago or so. So I'm assuming, not 100%, but I'm assuming that's what it was. And they're full on board here. I mean, I think locals are really looking to the future, and they're taking their future serious with the apprentices. And if we're all doing this for the right reasons, regardless of what we're doing, I haven't met anyone who hasn't gave us a full support, and that's just for lack of better word when I say support.
Oh yeah, I think I've been able to be in a great position because I have the training coordinators here that are absolutely great. And then I've got on the hall side, I've got the business agent that basically kind of started this with us. And I go to him on a daily basis and I ask him, am I doing what you expected the apprenticeship council be doing? And he tells me every day, he goes, you're above and beyond whatever expected of this student council to do. And it was one of the great things about this was they were actually kicking around the idea of making it mandatory for us to do a community service. By us doing this community outreach program, we're avoiding all the apprentices of having to do community service, which that a lot of our student body doesn't understand, but a lot of it is thankful because there's guys that don't live in the city. They live out in the rural areas or live it's clear up like almost Wyoming area or clear down south in like the Pueblo area and stuff like that, or not quite Pueblo, sorry, towards the Springs and stuff like that. And they have long drives to get to class and go home.
Well, I think that the volunteering is really just to show you that you're not just learning to be a pipe fitter. You're learning to be more than that. You're learning to be a man of your community and learning how to give back, and that this is bigger than you. This is bigger than you, and it brings you back to the core values that everyone says America's strained from, and the UA is still embodying. You know, when I'm here, I feel like I'm part of a family, and not a lot of people can say that. And that's what really is one of those things that volunteering is meant to do, is show you that sense of community. Maybe some guys never had it before, and once they start doing that, they really feel it, and that's a beautiful thing. I also wanted to ask, is there any journeyman out there that you want to give a shout out to? And if so, what makes him the ultra badass that what makes him that guy?
You know, I mean, I've got lots of journeymen I have a lot of respect for. The guy that really stands out to me is Rich Sunken. He's actually the guy that they have brought in. I'm actually helping teach. He teaches the advanced offsets class for the hall. He is probably one of the hardest working guys because he lives way up north in Red Feathers, which is almost a 4-hour drive from Denver. He drives down to Denver and does his class every week and turns around and drives home every night. I couldn't ask for anybody more to do that, you know?
That's fantastic. Jory and I thank you a whole bunch for coming on and spending some time with us on this podcast. Did you have anything that you would like to sign off with? Any final advice for your fellow apprentices and the apprentices of Local 469 here in Phoenix?
All I can say is hope you guys get the student council up and get it going the way you want it. And I wish all you the best of luck in being able to do it. And I wish you all best of luck in the career path that you've chosen, and keep your nose to the grind. It's going to be worth it in the long run. It really is.
Heck yeah. And I just wanted to ask, Hank, are you into dragons?
I'm not.
Because we're going to be dragging this podcast right now, Brett.
There you go.
All right, man. Hey, again, thanks. Taylor, is there anything you wanted to add, sign off with?
No, sir. Once again, we appreciate your time.
No problem, man.
Right on. Thanks, Hank, dude. Well, hopefully we can get you on again soon and talk a little more. But this is going to be a big boost to our guys who we're pitching the Apprentice Council to, and hopefully they shed a little light on it. Thank you, man.
Yeah, no problem. I wish you all luck with it. Really do. And let me know how it goes. So.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I'll see you guys later.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.